It's almost time to say goodbye to summer and start hitting those books once again. We know that school can be a drag, but the year is sure to go by quickly. If you're not looking forward to going back, here are some movies to get you prepped. Check out this list we've compiled for you. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button below and join our notification squad to stay up to date with our great content. Can you guess which movie these emojis are hinting at? Find out shortly following this video.
I'm taking a day off. Now get dressed and come on over.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off, 1986. Although Ferris Bueller's Day Off was released in 1986, 3 decades later, it is still a classic. Now, while the movie involves 3 friends ditching school to explore Chicago, we're not saying you should follow their lead. It is a great movie, though, if you're dreading back to school and want to see some teenagers be rebels. If you haven't seen the movie, it revolves around Ferris Bueller, played by Matthew Broderick, who is notorious for skipping school. His parents are completely oblivious to the fact that their son skipped school, but the principal, Mr. Rooney, is hip to his tricks. He is bound and determined to catch Ferris and get justice for all he has done. Ferris creates a master plan to seem like he is sick, rigging up quite the contraption in his bedroom. He convinces his timid friend Cameron to steal his father's prized 1963 Ferrari and pick up Ferris's girlfriend from school so they can have a day to themselves. Trouble, of course, ensues as Mr. Rooney as well as Ferris's sister both want to catch Ferris in the act so he can receive the punishment they both think he deserves. This is one of the many John Hughes films that is a classic and a must-watch. Napoleon Dynamite, 2004. This is one of those movies that you probably love or hate. You either think it is completely stupid, or you might think it's hilarious. Napoleon Dynamite was released in 2004 and made over $44 million on a budget of around $400,000.
Sweet.
Pretty good for a movie that is set in small-town Idaho and features a guy with a fro, huge glasses, and wears moon boots. The movie has launched thousands of memes and follows Napoleon Dynamite, an awkward, misunderstood, and strange high schooler as he deals with love, friendship, steak, and learning to care for himself by making dang quesadillas. Napoleon teaches us to do what your heart tells you, because that is what he always does. In the beginning of the movie, when Napoleon gets on the school bus, a younger boy asks him what he was going to do that day. Napoleon responds with the infamous line,
"Whatever I feel like I want to do." Gosh!
So, do what you want to do, even if that includes sticking an action figure attached to some fishing line out the window so it can be dragged behind the bus. I still don't think anyone knows what the point of that is. School of Rock, 2003. School of Rock is a movie that definitely rocks. Jack Black portrays an out-of-work guitarist named Dewey Finn. One day he gets a call from a principal prep school asking for his roommate Ned Schneebly, who is a substitute teacher. Dewey, needing to make some money so he doesn't get kicked out of the apartment, ends up pretending to be Ned. He finds out that the class he is substituting for has some pretty talented musicians and gets a brilliant idea to start a rock band. His plan is to enter Battle of the Bands to beat his former rock band. Eventually, things fall apart and his masquerade is revealed. Things weren't all for naught, as the kids learned some great values, as did he. School ended up not being such a drag that it is cracked up to be, and created an awesome band. They went on to play at Battle of the Bands, and although they lost to Dewey's old band, they were the crowd favorite. Zach, the guitarist for the band, learns to go against his father's wishes of him playing only classical guitar and pursuing his love for rock music. He followed his heart, and his father was very proud when he sees his son on stage. Freaky Friday, 2003. A lot of mothers and daughters can probably relate to this movie, but it is also a fun family movie for everyone. Thanks to a magical fortune cookie, a mother, played by Jamie Lee Curtis, and daughter, Lindsay Lohan, at odds with each other, magically find their bodies switched. This is a remake of the 1976 version. It provides laughs, and as the characters come to terms with their newly inhabited bodies and the stresses of living the other's life. Putting yourself in someone else's shoes, especially your mother's, can give you valuable insight and empathy for the other. Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis have great chemistry on screen, and you'd think that they really are mother and daughter. They were also brilliant when they switched bodies. The acting felt real, and their expressions were great. The film was the 3rd adaptation of the Mary Rogers novel, so you can tell the story is pretty popular. The Disney team got it right and did a great job with making this film. If you haven't seen it, it is worth watching. Lindsay Lohan has received some harsh criticism for her movies, but she does a great job in this one. If you've seen it, what do you think? Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. 2001. What's not to love about Harry Potter? He is everyone's favorite orphan who discovers he has magical powers and gets to attend Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. It's safe to say that a lot of us waited or are still waiting our acceptance letters. Keep a watchful eye out for those owls. While at school, Harry makes lifelong friends with know-it-all Hermione Granger and Ronald Weasley, two mates that anyone would be lucky to have. He learns more of his craft and his true destiny is soon revealed. There is a darkness that lies ahead in the form of he who shall not be named. Harry Potter teaches us never to judge a book by its cover because, let's face it, a lot of us were very perplexed when the book was first released and weren't too sure about the young boy with glasses on a broomstick. Also, Harry Potter teaches us that with good friends by your side, anything is possible. Get ready to hop aboard the Hogwarts Express again to a faraway place where it seems like anything is possible. If you haven't seen it, then do yourself a favor and watch it. It will be very hard for you to dislike it.
We don't read and write poetry because it's cute. We read and write poetry because we are members of the human race, and the human race is filled with passion.
Dead Poets Society, 1989. If you haven't seen the 1989 movie Dead Poets Society, you should do so. It is one of Robin Williams' best movies and tells the story of an English teacher, played by Robin Williams, who challenges his students. It is an inspirational and remarkable story of a teacher who really cares about his students and wants the best for them. Robin Williams portrays John Keating and inspires his students to look at poetry with a different perspective with knowledge and feelings. Each of the main characters is struggling with something in their life, and Keating encourages them to go against the status quo. One student is trying to fill in his brother's shoes, who was once valedictorian of the school, and his roommate is under the thumb of his overbearing father. Each student challenges the status quo in their own way and have life-changing moments. This is another one of those movies that, although it was made almost 30 years ago, is still one that you need to watch. The power and inspiration of the messages hold true and can be felt throughout time. Hopefully there are teachers like this out there that encourage us to follow our dreams no matter what the obstacles may be. Have any of you seen this movie?
Use your minds. Follow your plans, and you will all find safe squares.
The Queen of Katwe, 2016. The Queen of Katwe is based on the true story of Ugandan girl Fiona Mutisi, who is introduced to the game of chess and becomes a prodigy. Fiona lives in the slum of Katwe in Kampala, Uganda. She has virtually no possessions, can't read, and has to sell maize in the streets in order to earn money for her family. She has two brothers, a sister, and her headstrong mother, Harriet, played by Lupita Nyong'o. Fiona and her older brother end up running into the head of the local sports ministry, Robert Katende. He sees that the kids of Katwe are not going to be able to compete in football and decides to teach them something he mastered at a young age, the game of chess. Chess can be played by anyone in the world and equalizes class issues, education, and income. Katende soon realizes that Fiona is gifted when she starts to beat him. As Fiona's skill as a chess player rises, her doubts begin to set in and she doesn't feel she is good enough. Katende does not let her get down on herself too much and pushes her. The Queen of Katwe is an inspirational movie and feel-good movie for the whole family.
Dr. Larrabee, this book is too heavy.
Good. It'll develop your arm muscles.
I thought we were developing my vocabulary.
Akeelah and the Bee, 2006. Akeelah and the Bee, released in 2006, tells the story of young 11-year-old South Los Angeles girl Akeelah, who is a spelling whiz. The odds, as well as her unsupportive mother, are stacked against her. Even so, the community rallies around her in a bid to get her to the National Spelling Bee. Changing the world, one word at a time, was the tagline for this movie. This is a great story of a girl who rises even when faced with adversity. Akeelah is smart, but her environment is suffocating and could ruin her aspirations. She gains help from an English professor as suggested by her principal by the name of Dr. Larrabee, played by Lawrence Fishburne. For Fishburne, it is a reminder of his work in the 1993 film Searching for Bobby Fischer, where he coached a chess prodigy. The movie is entertaining and inspirational, and may evoke some tears out of you. The sessions between Akeelah and Dr. Larrabee are the film's most crucial moments, as he tells her not only strategy, but also how to win. He tells her again and again, our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. For all of you going back to school, this is a reminder that there are great teachers out there and can help push us to be our very best. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. 2017. If you need a movie that will help take you away and not think of going back to school, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 will help. The crew is back, and once again there is a threat in the galaxy that only they can prevent. It is a thoroughly enjoyable summer blockbuster with everything you would expect from a Guardians movie. The hilarious camaraderie between the characters, the great music from the 70s, 80s, and of course, there's Baby Groot. How could you not love a face like that? Baby Groot plays an important role in this movie as he is the comic relief, emotional one, and oh so small. A character we get to see more from in this movie is Yondu, the Ravager that took Peter Quill under his wing as a kid and always threatened to eat him. We see that he is actually a big softie underneath and learn more about who he really is. One of the things that sets Guardians of the Galaxy apart from other Marvel movies is that it is more about fun family entertainment for the whole family. Not so much about the big explosions and massive action sequences. There are some, but the movie doesn't center around them.
This crazy car parked outside.
Spider-Man Homecoming. 2017. If you're in need of some action and comedy before you have to head back to school, then look no further than Spider-Man Homecoming. Peter Parker is learning to juggle the everyday life of a teenager as well as a crime fighter. Both in their own aspect are hard enough. Luckily, he has Tony Stark as his mentor to help him along. This Spider-Man is a little different as we have a Peter Parker played by Tom Holland who actually looks and sounds like a teenager. There is also no love interest, being Mary Jane or Gwen Stacy. Did we mention that Aunt May is a little younger than you would imagine? The beautiful actress Marissa Tomei plays her in this rendition. Peter tries to get back into his normal daily routine after having his first battle with the Avengers in Captain America: Civil War. It doesn't go too well as the new villain appears named Vulture, played by Michael Keaton. All that Peter holds dear to him is being threatened. The movie received a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes, and 90% of fans like it. If you've seen it, what's your take on it? Is this web slinger the best one so far? We know a lot of you aren't prepped to go back to school and wish summer could stick around longer. It'll be here again before you know it. What did you think of this list? Have you seen any or all of these movies? Before we forget, the answer to the movie emoji is... well, did you get it right? Let us know in the comment section below, and be sure to look at our playlist to explore other awesome content. Thanks for watching.